Okay, this is my 1993 Kawasaki KLR600. Really interesting, fascinating bike, this one. I absolutely love this bike. Be pretty loath to let it go, but needs must sometimes. This one I bought as a project. It's got really interesting history, this bike. If you look up Fred and Dave Gone Biking on Facebook, this bike has been around the world. It's been through many countries, through pretty much every terrain you could imagine. Snow, deserts, mud, road work, loads and loads of stuff. And I took it on as a project from a lad that had done some bits. He put new piston rings in it, and it looked totally different when I got it. The bike was cosmetically terrible. And mechanically not great either. Needed lots of refurbishment, which I've done to get it up to scratch, and I've enjoyed hundreds and hundreds of miles of green laning on this bike. It's absolutely, unequivocally, one of the best bikes I've ridden for dual purpose stuff. So excellent bike on the road. It's light for its size, for a 600, agile. It's pretty quick for what it is. It's just a 75 mile an hour all day, no problem. Off-road, fantastic, absolutely fantastic bike. It feels much lighter than it is, and then, you know, with a decent rider, you're going to keep up with the modern stuff all day on this bike, no problem whatsoever. So I'll run through what I've done to this bike since I've owned it. Quite a bit, to be fair. Made this homemade comfort seat that's got lots of layers of dual density foam. Cover's not immaculate, but it's one of the comfiest seats you'll sit on, I would imagine. Absolutely loads and loads of work. I took this thing back down to its frame pretty much, and the more I dug, the more I had to do, which is usually the case with old bikes, especially bikes that have been around the world and done massive amounts of off-roading. So let me start. Bike's currently wearing a TKC80 on the front and a TKC70 rocks on the rear. Good combination for green laning. Has the rare and elusive 22 litre Kerbis fuel tank on it at the moment, which has got a few scratches from green laning as expected, but it's in good condition, and you can go for absolutely miles on that. I mean, you know, I've only had to fill it up, I don't even know, like every 3 trips, and I do well over 100 miles a trip. So fuel loss, ages. Very frugal bike, actually. It's got AS3 performance handlebar mountings, which bring the handlebars forward a bit, stop them hitting the tank. It's got Pro Taper fat bars on it, which are excellent, strong. It's got a Kerbis, what do you call them, hand protectors, hand guards. It's got shorty levers, Renthal grips. What else have I got on it? It's got a really useful and functional LED light bar that's wired into a switch up there. It did have that when I bought it, but it wasn't working, so I had to rewire it, and it works fine now. It's got a UFO short front mudguard. I do have the original, which is a bit faded, but obviously it's personal preference. I quite like the look of the Supermoto mudguards. Mechanically, what haven't I done to this bike? It's had valve clearances done. The Keihin CVK was rebuilt by myself. I know a lot about these carburetors, and that's set up right. If you wanted a bit more power out of it, you could upjet it a couple of sizes, but for daily running around, it's sorted. Runs fantastic. I had both cases off, so this side it's had a new clutch cable, new choke cable, water pump gasket's been done, new coolant. It's had a couple of oil changes. This side I took the casing off, which is a massive job on these, and I have put basically this bike comes with an absolute bucket load of spares, which I'll go through in a bit, but I put a very low mileage clutch basket in this bike because it had quite an old worn clutch basket in from its adventures. So it's got a low mileage clutch basket, new plates, new springs. What else have I done? Refreshed gaskets, new oil filter. So it's got essentially a brand new clutch assembly, including the basket in it, which has made a hell of a difference. When I bought the bike, the clutch was quite noisy and tight, you know, right on the end of its life, dragging a little, but the clutch works perfect now, and it's quite light for a cable clutch, which is fantastic. The new cables obviously help that, and refreshing everything. It's got new sintered front pads, and I rebuilt the caliper. It has a brand new speedo drive, new old stock from Kawasaki and cable. However, the hub on this bike, the teeth are worn, so it doesn't quite catch it. The bike comes with a spare set of wheels that have a good hub front and rear, so that's fixable. It's only a minor thing really. I use a speedo on a GPS to track my speed, which is absolutely fine. It's got a K&N air filter. It's got a laser Projuro exhaust, quite hard to find. Yeah, and it's got stainless steel front pipe there, which is great. I totally disassembled the swinging arm and all the linkages here for the suspension because they were solid. How they were still working, I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. So the swing arm bearings have been out, repacked, re-greased, new seals. It's got a YSS rear shock absorber at quite a lot of cost. Just ignore that pipe. I've got to reattach that coolant pipe because I've just done some more work to the bike. Yeah, it's got a YSS shock absorber, which is fantastic. Absolutely transforms the handling of this bike. Off-road, amazing, and handles well on-road as well. It's not hard, it's not too bouncy, it's just right, literally just right. Makes a world of difference. Lovely condition, last of the line. This bike's a 93 L-Reg. It's got these beautiful last of the line gold anodized wheels. I absolutely love these wheels, and they're in fantastic excuse me, condition for a set of wheels that have been literally around the world. As I say, the front one is in fantastic condition. It's sad that the speedo teeth on the hub there are worn, but as I say, it's easily fixable, and the bike comes with a spare hub that's got great teeth on it, so not a worry at all. Had the rear subframe off, give that a refresh. That looks fantastic. It's got stronger bolts that hold the subframe in. It's had all the rear drum cleaned, taken apart and adjusted. It's had a new drive chain put on there, which is currently quite muddy because the bike's been used for purpose by me. It's got LED indicators and flasher relay. Uses this bit of checker plate here with repainted, rear passenger mounts. The bike has rear foot pegs with it. They're just not fitted at the moment because I wouldn't take passengers on a bike like this. Okay, yeah, new rear drivetrain, chain, sorry, needs a bit of a clean, but that'll be done, obviously. Gets cleaned nearly every time I take it out. So yeah, valve clearances all reset to spec. Fantastic compression. This side, I have removed all the casings, the doohickey as they call it, the crankshaft balancer. The spring was weak as anything when I picked the bike up. And was making the typical clanging noise these old single cylinders get when they get old and worn out. So it's had a brand new strong spring fitted on the crankshaft balancer by myself. It's also had a refurbished flywheel. It's got an electric stator, so aftermarket electric stator, brand new, made in England part, cost absolute fortune. I think it's about 150 quid, and that's been wired in. So that's all been refreshed, new gaskets, as it should be. Lots and lots and lots of work done to this bike. I've done quite a bit of wiring to it as well because it had some crappy connectors when I got it that had obviously been repaired on the road. It has an AS3 Performance gear lever there, which is nice. It's got a really strong spring that folds, so if you drop it, then that won't break. Yeah, I mean, the rear hub's all been off as well, re-greased, front wheel bearings have been re-greased. It's essentially a case of what haven't I done to this bike. It's had a new choke cable as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. Just everything really. Obviously, that being said, you know, for a 93 and the fact it's been around the world, the bike looks awesome. It's a nice bike. It's in really nice condition. Always gets stopped and people chat to me about it. You know, these KLRs are really thin on the ground, especially nice ones. There's a lot of absolute dogs out there that are falling to pieces. This bike is a fantastic dual purpose thumper. What else could you want really for road use and off-road use? It really does everything, and I'm pretty loath to say goodbye to it if I have to. But these things must. I do lots of bike projects, and I'm running out of space with the house move. So, okay, most important part, I'll start it up. So that's no choke. Bike's been sitting for a couple of hours. Sits there ticking away lovely. Typical single cylinder thumper sound. It's not the quietest bike in the world with the laser exhaust on it, but it has 12 months MOT, passed without issue. Also has a LED number plate light wired in. It's fully functional. Just neatens the back end up a bit. It comes with a mini number plate as well, but in the UK I put a standard one on it because the police take a really dim view of those mini number plates, and I've been caught out with those before. It's got a fan switch wired into it, which is stealthily just hidden there. Put that on. You can see the fan whirring away. Say it's awesome, really. It's absolutely awesome. Down to a few negatives. Every bike has them. I don't really consider them negative because it doesn't stop the bike from being used. As I was saying, the speedo, the tacho rev counter works, and the idiot lights work, but the speedo doesn't, because although it's got a new hub drive there and a new cable, the teeth on this hub, on this front hub here, are quite worn and need replacing. And as I say, the bike comes with a host of spares. So this bike will come with, it comes with another seat, which will need the little front prongs re-gluing on, but that's not too much of an issue. It comes with carburetor spares, an entire wiring loom, clutch basket. It comes with a cylinder, which is in excellent condition. It comes with a bottom end, which is functional, obviously in bits, but if you ever need a crankshaft, it's there, and it's rotates freely. It's all good. So yeah, I mean, it probably comes with about 750 quid worth of spares. The original mudguard. Bike comes with just loads and loads and loads of bits and bobs. I've literally got half a bike of spares with it. Also comes with a spare rear subframe. My gosh, original fuel tank, which is a bit tatty, but it's there if you want it. Goodness me, just loads and loads of stuff, which I'll try and make a bit of a list of when I get round to it. So it comes with literally about half a bike worth of spares, all the stuff that you can't find nowadays. You know, useful stuff to have. So that's that really. There's the bike. I'm sure there's loads of bits that I've missed, but it's been really well loved by me. I had a new rear brake light switch as well. That's another thing that it's had. Pretty much half the bike's been replaced by myself or rebuilt, and it's a fantastic bike. Just passed its MOT with flying colours, no issues whatsoever. So there's not much more to say about it. Getting rare now. As I say, not perfect. Been around the world and been on hundreds of green lanes with me. Hundreds of miles of green lanes with me. So obviously it's got plenty of battle scars, which I like. You know, it's not a perfect bike, but you wouldn't want to take a restored KLR600 down muddy, rocky lanes and be dropping it. So it's really fit for purpose. As I say, that's all there is to say about it, really. Thanks very much for watching the video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Another project done.